Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Joy-Filled Educator. When I tell you that I am absolutely excited to be here with you today, I am absolutely excited. Thank you so much for joining me. I am actually honored to have you all in the room with me today on our first episode of the Joy-Filled Educator. Let me say this. Joy is not a luxury, it's really a strategy. I would like for that to resonate with you all for a moment. Joy is not a luxury, it's actually a strategy. We'll talk more about it towards the end. Well, I'd like to say again, welcome to episode one of the Joy-Filled Educator, where purpose meets play and legacy is built with love. Let me tell you, let me be really serious. I was absolutely determined to get this episode recorded today. Let me tell you why. Not just today, but before the month of June was out. And I was determined to do that because June 7th, 1925, my mom was born. So that makes her, if she were still living, she would be 100 years old. 100 years old. And she was born in June. June 7th, 1925. So I was determined to get this episode out in honor of her during the month of June. Um, the Joyful Educator podcast is being launched again in honor of her. And she would have been so profoundly proud of me taking the step of jumping out here and just kind of doing it because I set it as a goal to do. I want to say also that I am launching today on Monday, June 30th, again because of my mom, but this is not going to be the regular time that we show the podcast or air the podcast. The podcast is going to be aired on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. So the next episode will air July 14th, and the episode after that will air on July 28th. So be prepared for that. I think on our little intro, my producer had on there 8 p.m., but it's really going to be airing at 7 p.m., and we'll make that correction. All right, again, I'm excited that you guys are here. Thank you for also being engaged and showing up during the time where I had posted some things on Facebook to choose a cover. So as you can tell, the cover that won was the cover that the majority of the people chose. That was me kind of standing up there like I'm a joy-filled educator, right? And we selected that particular one, so thank you so much. Let me start, I guess, really by saying that I'm Lacetia Walker, and I am your host. I am a mom, I'm an educator, I'm a amateur athlete. I'm an auntie, cousin, sister, and I am a believer as well as a lifelong joy seeker. And this podcast is for women like me and women like you who give their all to everyone else and are finally ready to pour some of that love back into themselves. Here we'll share real stories, hard earned wisdom, and also courageous laughter and the beauty of showing up even when things get messy. Hopefully, you'll fill your cup, you'll find inspiration, and you will unapologetically embrace your story, your hobbies, and your passions as well. Let's take this journey together. Let's grow, let's heal, and let's find joy. All right, guys, this is the first episode. This is a solo episode as well. For the rest of the episodes, for the majority of them anyway, I will have a co host. Okay. And that person could be you or you. Really, it can be. Even though, again, this is a solo episode, you'll hear from many voices from around the country. People like me who have gone through things and who have just not gone through them, but they've grown through what they have gone through. And I know many of you fit that description as well. So be on the lookout. If there's a segment that you're interested in appearing on, let me know and reach out, and we'll make sure that you get an opportunity to share your story, to share your joy, to share a challenge that you may have overcome, or just to share some good old stuff that we can help benefit the community with. All right, guys, wonderful. Let me move on to the next segment. This segment is entitled My Journey Started with a Detour. I want to begin by telling you that I want to really tell you the truth. I didn't plan any of this to happen the way that it did. I really didn't. Let me take you back quite a few years Back when I was a sophomore at Alabama State University, yes, a Detroit kid headed down to Alabama, going to college, right? It was something that no one in my family had done. That is, go to college at that point, right? I was a sophomore at Alabama State University. I was having a great time. I was learning a lot, meeting new people, having new experiences, as well as pledging a sorority. I was focused on my goals. And then, you know what? Life happened. Life happened like it does to many of us. You don't have any idea what I mean when I say life actually happened? Well, I got pregnant. I got pregnant actually while pledging a sorority. And for those of you who are not familiar with sororities and fraternities, they're organizations that are at school that have like-minded people who come together and they have a lot of fun, but they also do community service. Part of their goal is to serve the community. So I was pledging at Alabama State University my sophomore year and got pregnant with Brittany. However, I didn't know it right away. I headed home for the summer and I realized before fall came, when it was time to return to school, I couldn't return. I found out late and I had to delay my college plans. Let me say that um, a lot transpired during that time, but I am going to say this. My parents were amazing. My mom and dad, they were really amazing. Of course, just like any dad who loves his daughter, the youngest of everybody, he had some questions. Who is he? Where is his mom and his daddy? And what's going on, right? He was amazing, but my mom especially, she had this saying growing up, and of course my siblings can attest to it. Her saying was, "Don't let me find out anything about you in the streets." Seriously, don't let anybody come up to me and tell me what my daughter's been doing. Sita did this or Sita said that, or don't you know? That was one thing that she always shared. She shared that she didn't want to find out anything that was happening with her kids in the streets. She wanted us to come and tell her. She was kind of gangster about it too. She would say, "Hey, don't say anything, don't let anything be told to me in the streets about you guys. Even if you kill somebody," she said, "I know this is nice and I hope it's okay." She said, "Even if you kill somebody, you come tell me first. You tell me first, not your friends. Why? Why, Ma? Why?" She said, "Because I'm going to be the one to have to defend you, and I have to, or if even I have to lie for you, it's going to be me. So you tell me so I'll know what to do." So, of course, after finding out that I was pregnant, I told my mom and I told her right away. She had a great attitude. However, me personally, I was so very disappointed in myself. And I also had some guilt over like really letting people down, those people who were rooting for me. I had a fear of really letting them down, and I felt as if I had done so. And finally, I was scared too, not scared because of what my family might say or do or how they would feel about me, but scared of actually being this age. I was 20, but having a baby, huh? Well, oh my God, it's got to be so painful. Whatever, that was my detour. And I'll say though, again, my mom was great. She said it was a great thing, and she thought it was a good idea. When I told her, she said, "Good, that's a great thing." I, however, again, did not see it that way, and I didn't have the same sentiment. And when I shared with her on many occasions how disappointed I was, one thing she said initially was that this may be the very child that will bring you a drink of water when you get old. So why are you sad? You need this kid, right? And so I tried over time to kind of adapt that same perspective, and it was quite difficult for me. I remember another instance after being pregnant and back home from school. I was really dramatic. I remember being in the kitchen on one day, maybe about 7 months at this point, and leaning up against the wall, and I began to cry, just crying. And I remember kind of sliding down on the floor, like, "Oh my God, my life is over." And my mom came in and she said, "Well, what did you say?" I said, "I just said my life is over. I'm just so disappointed. I'm so sad." And she told me right then, she said, "Listen, stop all of that crying and moping around here, first of all, because we don't want that baby to come out of here sad, depressed, and all of that. So stop all of that. You need to behave better. I need for you to think about this in a more positive way." I said, "Ma, I did not envision my life like this. I really think, I mean, my life is over." And she said, "Why do you think it's over?" And I expressed to her, "It's over because I'm having a baby and I, what am I going to do? And she said to me these exact words. She said, a baby? A baby is what you're doing all of this about, doing all of this for? And I said, yeah, because what am I going to do? She said, listen, a baby, a baby won't stop no show. She said it just like that. Baby, a baby won't stop no show. You can continue to do what it is you're trying to do. That, hearing that from her was a pivotal moment in my journey. It absolutely was a pivotal moment. Okay, listen, you'll learn more about mom and dad and other great adults and very influential elders when we get to maybe episode 4 or episode 5 of the series. When we talk about our parents, when we talk about a village, do you all have a village? I want to know about that. And if you don't have one, we want to work on getting you one. And that was actually really my village. And I didn't even know anything about it. I know now we use the adage, it takes a village to raise a child, and you always hear it. But when I was growing up, that wasn't something that we said very often. But looking back, I realize now that that was something that I really experienced. I experienced the love, the commitment, the dedication, and the perseverance of a village. And I am so, so grateful for that. All right, guys, that's not the end of it. It is really a comeback story. So I had Brittany on February 7th, 1986, and I walked back onto the campus of Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama on February 18th of that same month. Had it on February 7th, was able to go back to school on February 18th. Just 11 days later, I was able to step foot back on that campus with a new mission, with a new commitment, and with my eyes set on a new site. Like I have to come here to get the work done, to get the job done, and do it quickly. Listen, this is not me bragging at all. It's not. This is me saying that God had his hand on my life. Some of you call him Allah, some of you call him Yahweh, some of you call him Jesus, some of you call him Jehovah. Okay, but God had his hand on my life. And I had a village behind me. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Daddy. Antoine Andre Ernest. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody who poured into me and poured into her to ensure that I was going to be able to get back there and to finish what I started. Oh, thank you, Trina. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Grandma Dot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ty. All of those people poured into Brittany, but they also poured into me to make sure that I was able to finish again what I started. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit more, and then I'm gonna come back around to this. I did graduate from Alabama State University a couple of years later. I was a semester late on my graduation compared to others that had come in during that time, but it was fine. I finished. It was wonderful, right? I got a degree in computer information systems, and I want to give a shout out to my parents and my whole support system, which was vast, to my village. For those of you who have a village, I know you can understand where I'm coming from. For those of you who have a small village, okay, you see what we're talking about. And for those of you who don't have a village at all, we're here. The Joyful Educators are here, baby. We're about to wrap our arms around you to show you what it is to have a village and support you, hold you accountable, and just be in your corner through your challenges and through your successes. We want to celebrate you for your successes, and we want to be there for you when you have challenges to help you to overcome those challenges. All right, here we go. That moment, when my mom said you can go back and my village jumped into place and they jumped into action, that moment set the stage for how I'd show up in life, how I would show up in sisterhood, in motherhood, in the classroom, in the community. It it set the tone for how I would show up on the tennis courts and also how I would show up today for you on this mic. All right. So remember, this is not just a podcast, not at all. It's a reminder that no matter what your detour is, it doesn't matter what detour you take, your purpose cannot be denied. Let that resonate with you. It doesn't matter what detour you take, your purpose, if you're persistent, cannot be denied. All right, guys, let me jump over here for a second. Let me tell you why I created the Joy-Filled Educator. I created the Joy-Filled Educator because I wanted to reclaim joy, not just in my work as an educator, but in my life as a woman, as a Black woman, as a mother, sister, friend, auntie, cousin, right? As a creative, as a creative and a legacy builder. For years, I've poured into others without always prioritizing myself. And I know I'm not alone. I know many of you are doing the same thing. This podcast is my love letter to women like me and like you, educators, caretakers, mentors, aunties, cousins, right? Those people who have stood in the gap for others. This is a love letter to you, to those of you who have given so much and now deserve to fill or to refill your own cup. It's a space where I can truly embrace my voice, my hobbies, my stories, yours as well, and remind you all that joy is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Again, let me say that joy is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Okay? The time really is now. It's now because I finally stopped waiting for that perfect moment and started honoring the calling that I have felt for years. I have stopped waiting again. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. And I started honoring the calling that I felt for years. This has been on my radar for quite some time now, but I wouldn't do it. I had it written up, but I didn't go out. I didn't push forward. I kind of stopped in the process, wanted it perfect. And what I've determined is we can't wait for the perfect moment. We just got to take the chance. We got to jump. We got to leap. We got to take the dive, right? If it's something that you've been wanting to do, and I'm certain that it is, I'm certain that it is, you need to do it. You need to do it, right? This again is a calling that I felt for years, and I'm jumping out here. So I'm asking you, what have you been called to do? What are you interested in doing, but haven't done so yet because you've been waiting on that perfect moment to do it? What is it? Is it writing a book? Is it doing a podcast? Is it creating a product? Is it selling a product? I don't know. What is it? Is it singing? Is it going to The Voice? Is it auditioning for The Voice? Is it losing weight? What is it? What have you been called to do? I want you to take a moment to think about it. Please rest assured, whatever it is, it's not going to happen until you put some effort into getting it done. It's not going to happen until you put some faith in yourself and faith in the higher power, right? Faith in the fact that you can do it. You can do it. Just step out there. Don't wait for the perfect moment because no moment is perfect. I've heard a guy once say that if you wait to write a book until that book is perfect, then you've waited too long. If you wait to do anything until it's perfect, you've waited too long. Because then how are you going to do the revision? How are you going to do the second edition of something if you waited so long? So just do it. That's my recommendation because that's what I'm doing as well. And I'm trying to lead by example too. All right, let's take a pause for a second. I want to share with you the three emotions I want you all and all listeners to feel being a part of this podcast. I'm going to tell you what those emotions are, and then I'm going to expound on them just a little bit. The first emotion is I want you to feel seen. Second, I want you to feel inspired. And then third, I want you to feel uplifted. Seen, inspired, and uplifted. Let me tell you about being seen. I want each and every one of you to feel recognized and validated in your journey, even the unseen parts. I want each of you to feel inspired. I hope each episode sparks new energy, creativity, or courage. I want you to feel uplifted. Whether you laugh, you cry, you reflect, I want you to leave every episode feeling lighter and more hopeful and more hopeful. Listen, faith carried me. Faith will carry you when plans fall apart. Faith will carry you through, right? You can do this. I'm here. I want to be your biggest supporter. and I want to be the one that encourages you as well. Let's go to the core values. This podcast is going to guide and lead with three core values. Those core values are authenticity, legacy, and joy-centered living. Let me give you a little bit about each. When we talk about authenticity, I tell you, I am going to show up here as my whole full self. I'm going to show up here as my full self. And I invite you, each and every one of you, to do the same. Real talk, real stories, real joy. You know real stories, right? Because you remember the first one I just talked about, honey, that Brittany. Listen, as it relates to legacy, every episode honors the work we do to build something bigger. The work that we do to build something bigger, not only for ourselves, but our families. The work to do something bigger, bigger than ourselves, for education and for our community. Joy-centered living. Joy isn't just an emotion here, it's a compass. We lead with joy, we protect joy, and we share joy boldly. Why does joy matter? It matters. Why now? Joy matters more now than ever before. You see what's going on around the country. It's nuts. We need to find happiness. We need to find happiness. We need to find joy so that we can stay on our game, so that we can keep increasing our outcomes. And we do so by being in a positive space. I want this space to also feel like a sister circle, a planning table, a classroom, a couch, all rolled into one. Absolutely. Listen, okay, I feel like the educator in me is surfacing. The educator in me is surfacing now. I want this space to be interactive. When I do training, professional development, when I speak, when I'm giving at conferences, I always want to be in a room where if I'm leading, where I am engaging the participants. I want it to be interactive. I want to be engaged, and I want to engage you as well. So what I'm going to say at this time is that you all have got to pick up a journal. You got to get a journal and a writing instrument. I have several journals. Oh my gosh, I was trying to pull up one here, but I can't get a hold to it. This is one that a friend wrote. I have three over here, but they're too far away from me. I can't really reach them right now. But I want you to grab a journal and grab a writing instrument, not necessarily for today, but it will be an extended learning opportunity for you for the next time that we meet. Grab a journal. I want you to grab a pen, and I want you to start writing down little nuggets that are important to you or little things that stand out to you during this podcast. That's one. And I also want you to start writing down things that you're grateful for. What are you grateful for? I want you to start writing those things down, right? Okay, so you're going to pick up a journal and a pen of your choice. I want you to start writing down things that you're grateful for. I'm going to say do it daily, every day. And we know it takes 21 days to make a habit. I want you to write this down every day and write down three things every day that you're grateful for, right? Don't just write, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful that I woke up, and I'm grateful for my new shoes. Nope. Make it a complete sentence. I'm grateful for the sun because it shines warmly on my body. Or I'm grateful for the sun because it provides me with vitamin D. Or I'm grateful for the sun because it makes me feel happier and more balanced when it's shining. So make it complete sentences. The next thing about this gratitude, these three gratitudes that I want you to write down every day for the next 21 days at least, I want you not to repeat. So if you say, I'm grateful for the sun, don't say every day, I'm grateful for the sun because it keeps me warm. Tuesday, I'm grateful for the sun because it keeps me warm. No, we got to have three different gratitudes that you write every single day, three different ones. Okay. That's really important because the more we write, list, share things that we're grateful for, the happier we are. Okay. It actually changes your mindset. The happier we are. And we know for a fact that when you're happy, all of your outcomes increase. So, and we're the Joyful Educator Podcast. So you got to be happy, or you got to find ways to make you happier. Okay. Again, three daily gratitudes. Make sure you're writing complete sentences, and it's a different gratitude each day. Also, in this journal, when you listen in to the podcast, I want you to take notes. I want you to write down ideas, inspirations, quotes that resonate with you. Okay, I want you to write those things down as we meet. Okay. Also, when we're talking about a particular subject, write it down. If you're thinking about taking that leap as far as your business or your product is concerned, starting an LLC, getting your real estate license, starting a 501(c)(3, I want you to write those things down. It's one thing when you say you want to do something, you jot it down. That's not a goal, right? It's just a dream. When you say you want to do something, you write it down and you add a date to it and you make it like a SMART goal, then that's an actual goal. So I want you to start writing these things down. The second thing that I want you to do as we wait for the next time that we meet, which will be July 14th, I want you to contact a person. It can be minimal one person, a minimum of one person. It could be more than one person, but minimum one. I want you to contact a person who has been inspirational or who's been influential in your life, a person that you're grateful for. I would love for you to contact that person by letter, email, text message, or even call that person. Show up in person, right? And I want you to thank that person, whoever it might be. Show how grateful and tell them how grateful you are for them. It'll make a world of difference for them, but it will also make a profound difference in your life as well. So again, you have two extended learning opportunities. In education, we used to call it homework. Some teachers still do call it homework. But as you begin to coach, and Carolyn McCanders, shout out to Carolyn McCanders and her training, to make it sound more appealing, we'll call it an extended learning opportunity. So you have to write down your gratefulness, pick up a journal, write each day why you're grateful, and also reach out to a person that you are grateful for and share the reasons why you're grateful for that person. Okay. Again, I want to say people who are grateful are happier. And when you are happy, all of your outcomes increase. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up. In my closing message, I want to say I'm not perfect, but I'm blessed. I'm still becoming. And I believe that joy isn't something that you just find, it's something that you create. So, wherever you are in this journey, I hope this space helps you to keep going. We're just getting started. Seriously, we're just getting started. I'm Lacetia Walker, and this is the Joy-Filled Educator, where legacy lives and joy never runs dry. So until next time, stay joyful, stay grounded, and stay ready for your next opportunity and your next blessing. Thank you so much. I'll see you July 14th for the next episode of the Joy-Filled Educator. Again, we're going to be airing at 7 p.m. on every other Tuesday. Um, I will be sending some stuff out in social media to share with you the upcoming episodes. But I'm so excited that you're here on this journey with me. And thank you, thank you, thank you so much for tuning in. You are amazing. We all are. And let's get it. Let's get it. Take care. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.